Peace be with you, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Trevor. Really grateful to have you here. And in today's video, I'm just going to be doing a winter wrap-up. So it's the beginning of March here. I think it's March 8th at the time of filming this video, 2023. It's pretty cold in my house right now. I kind of wrapped up a little bit, waiting for the heat to get the house a little bit warmer. So I just wanted to go over 5 fragrances that I found were some of the ones that I reached for the most throughout the course of the winter. I've done a top December, top January, top February, and top March lists videos, but I haven't done a comprehensive best of the best winter picks. So I really only had 5. I couldn't even really pick a top 10 because the 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 would have been so much farther below these top 5. So I just wanted to give the creme de la creme, the best of the best of what I was reaching for over this winter, tail end of 2022, moving into 2023. And I'm posting this video here at the beginning of spring. Technically still winter because spring doesn't start until the 20th of March, but hopefully this will be useful for people at the beginning of December, end of November of this year, 2023. So without further ado, I'm just going to go over 5 fragrances that I've got for winter time, all kind of for different sort of occasions. The first of which being Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Eau de Parfum. So this is actually my 3rd bottle. Running really low on my 2nd bottle here, probably about 1 or 2 wears left in this one. But yeah, this is going to be my pick for daytime, sunny winter days, maybe even date night. It is very sensual. It's got a leather accord, but what really makes this kind of bright and fun, playful, is a unique cherry note. So a cherry men's fragrance, you don't really see that much, particularly in the designer realm. You can generally find this fragrance for right around the $80 to $100 mark, well worth the price. Unfortunately, it's a lot more expensive than it used to be. I picked up both of these bottles for around $40 off Amazon back in 2018. But nonetheless, I still think they're worth $100 for 100 ml easily. Beautiful, beautiful almond, cherry, incense, and leather are going to be the main fragrance accords you get with this one. And like I said, I tend to reach for this one on sunny winter days, so it's more of like a daytime pick for me in the cold, just because that cherry note adds a certain fruitiness that makes it bright and playful. But the sensuality here from the leather and almond also makes it perfectly fine for date night occasions. So it's fairly versatile, and being a designer fragrance, it's pretty accessible as well. Definitely, you know, you could really go with any of the cold weather picks from this line, the L'Intense or the Extreme, but I think this one is one of the more you know, easy to find as in terms compared to the Extreme, and then the L'Intense is a little bit more challenging, I feel. It's got a cherry or a chili pepper note in there that might not come across as easy as a cherry note would. So that's my top pick for sunny winter days, and one of the fragrances here for the best of winter designers for me, Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Eau de Parfum. Okay, so for winter nights, this is something that I would pick for either winter nights, date night, more so than the Guerlain, and also dressed up formal events in the winter time, black tie events. This is going to be my pick for those occasions, and that is Dior Homme Intense. Iconic fragrance, awesome kind of powdery cacao, lipsticky iris, and a really nice leather accord in here. So you got the leather chocolate iris kind of combo coming together, makes it just very elegant, perfect for formal occasions. It's got a little bit more of a dense sweetness that makes it perfect for the nighttime, in my opinion. Really the only one out of these 5 that I haven't really gotten a lot of compliments on. Doesn't mean that other people don't find it attractive. It's just I haven't happened to have gotten any compliments on this particular fragrance yet. But it's my favorite out of the 5 in terms of scent profile. Obviously, like I said, it is iconic. Unfortunately, Dior Homme Intense is being removed from the US market, same as with Dior Homme Original and Dior Homme Parfum, all three of which are still available on the European and Middle Eastern markets. So they're still probably going to be popping up at discounters, but you might be wanting to get your hands on one of these in the short term in case the prices go up because of the increased or the difficulty of supply coming out of the lack of accessibility to the US market. So that is my top pick for formal occasions and nighttime in the winter, Dior Homme Intense. So my daily driver or versatile pick for the winter time is going to be from the house of, there's actually three from the house of Dior on this list. The first was Dior Homme Intense, but my versatile pick is going to be Dior Sauvage Elixir. This one made my top 10 March fragrance lists because lavender is something that I kind of tend to reach for at the beginning of springtime, but this plays best in the cold weather. I did get a lot of wear out this throughout December, January, February, and here in March. Big compliment getter. I actually get, despite it being described as a mature fragrance and smelling like Jacquard Noir, I've gotten lots of compliments on this one from high school girls. I work at a restaurant, and some of the servers and fronters are 18 years old, and they're the ones that have complimented me the most on this fragrance. So despite being described as mature, it does appeal, it would seem, to at least the younger people in my general vicinity. But yeah, definitely, like I said, it's a lavender-centric fragrance. There's a little bit of cinnamon in the top as well. A unique licorice note makes it really just sweetened up in a way that isn't your normal type of sweetness. Like that licorice doesn't have your typical vanilla tonka vibe going on. I also like how cinnamon has like a touch of sweetness when you smell it in the air, but it's got a bitter taste. That kind of describes how this fragrance comes off a little bit. It's just very well blended, perfect balance between sweet and fresh, and that's why I think it's great for either day or night. The versatile pick for winter for me for 2023, that's Dior Sauvage Elixir. Okay, so the last one on the list from the house of Dior is going to be this one, Fahrenheit Parfum. Again, it's another fragrance that's been removed from the US market but still available on the European markets from Dior's website. This is one that I like to reach for during wet winter days. So either cold rain or where you've got that really thick kind of big globby snowflakes that are coming down and it's just like sloshy sleet, kind of your boots are getting really wet, that kind of environment. This one made my top December pick because of that transition out of the fall into the winter. You get a lot of that cold rain type weather. Same thing transitioning from winter into spring. This is going to be a great pick for that. There was a snowstorm that hit near me just last Friday that I wish I would have reached for this one for. I didn't, but it would have been a perfect opportunity to wear it. So that is going to be my pick for wet winter days. And this one, if you aren't familiar with it, it takes the traditional Dior Fahrenheit DNA, which is this kind of almost petrol gasoline violet, and then it adds a bourbon vanilla and I believe also another licorice note in here, similar to the Dior Sauvage Elixir, and so it adds that little bit of unique sweetness to a otherwise kind of very masculine DNA. Really makes this awesome stuff. Very niche quality despite being a designer. Definitely keep your eyes out for this one because it does only stock at discounters in the US infrequently. So add yourself to mailing lists to make sure you're going to be getting notified when this one comes in. I think Aura Fragrance, Fragrance Net are the two places I've seen it pop up from time to time. So keep your eyes out for this one. Definitely worth having in your collection. I think it ranges anywhere between $110 to $130 in the price range for a 75 ml bottle. Definitely worth that price. That's wet winter days, Dior Fahrenheit Parfum. And finally, for dry winter days, this is that type of weather where there might be some snow on the ground, but it's brittle and powdery and it's just whipping around, and you can kind of see these little snow tornadoes, like on the landscape of the street when the wind's blowing. Just kind of very dusty, your lips are chapped, that kind of weather. You know, in the depths of either January or February. This actually was one that was, I don't know if it did make my January list, but if it didn't, it should have been on there for sure, because this is perfect for that dry kind of winter time. And another iconic fragrance that is Tom Ford's Ombre Leather. Now the Parfum version of this one I think is better suited for the transitional periods, like moving from fall into winter or from winter moving out into spring. It's got an added violet note that gives it an ozonic quality. It makes it a little bit more fresh and watery. And this one though I think complements that dry winter air, and just like has, even though this is not a dry leather like something like Gucci Guilty Absolute, it's more of like a supple leather. It kind of smells how the bottle looks like when you open up like a luxury car and you just see the shiny kind of black leather seats. That's kind of what this smells like. It has a suppleness to it, but complements the dry air in the wintertime absolutely immaculately. And it's just such a unique fragrance, and so like bold as Tom Ford fragrances are. It's sweetened up with a little bit of like a classic Tom Ford patchouli in the base, which is something I've noticed that was different from at least one of the clones I've tried from of this fragrance. It didn't have that signature Tom Ford patchouli in there, so it's missing this little touch of sweetness that makes this one, the original, just that little bit of edge that makes me want to have this one in my collection. So definitely get your nose on this one. I'm sure this one's still out at the you know, Sephora's and Macy's at your local shopping centers. I think the 100 ml of this usually goes on discounters for like $150. Again, I think it's well worth that price. It's a great fragrance to have in your arsenal. And if that sounds like it's a little bit too much, they do have I believe 50 mLs of this, and I think, what was it, Sephora had a deal where you could get the 50 ml of this for like $75 last winter. So keep your eyes out for deals like that, maybe Black Friday shopping. If you haven't gotten a Tom Ford in your collection yet, this is a great one to start with, because Tom Ford is a, you know, Dior, Tom Ford, and Guerlain are some of the best designer offerings, and I think these are the top 5 for 5 different occasions in the winter time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. What were your most worn fragrances this winter? And I appreciate you sticking with me to the end of this video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.